The parable of the barren fig tree. Luke 13-6-9. A man planted a fig tree in his vineyard and waited year after year for fruit. Yet each season he found nothing. No figs, no sign of growth. Disappointed, he told the gardener. For 3 years I've looked for fruit and found none. Cut it down. Why should it waste the soil? But the gardener pleaded, Sir, leave it for 1 more year. I will dig around it, nourish it, care for it. If it bears fruit next year, good. If not, then cut it down. The gardener's voice was full of hope, patience, and mercy, believing that with time and care, even the barren can flourish. Sir, leave it alone for 1 more year. Luke 13-8. God is the patient gardener of our souls. Even when our lives feel unfruitful, He gives us time, mercy, and chances to grow. But He also calls us to respond to allow His care to change us and produce lasting fruit. The parable of the barren vineyard, the vineyard that produced wild grapes. Isaiah 5-1-7. In Isaiah's vision, God describes Himself as a loving gardener. He chose a fertile hill, cleared away every stone, tilled the soil with care, and planted the choicest grapevines. Day after day, He watched over the vineyard, watering, protecting, pruning. Everything was perfect. Everything was ready to produce sweet, rich grapes. But when harvest came, the vineyard yielded nothing but wild, sour grapes, fruit that was twisted, bitter, and useless. God asked, What more could I have done for my vineyard? The grief in His voice was deep. The problem was not the gardener, but the vines that refused to bear the fruit He nurtured them to produce. So God allowed the vineyard to stand without His protection exposed, broken, overrun. It wasn't punishment for punishment's sake, but a sorrowful consequence of rejecting His love. Reflection. This story reminds us, God invests deeply in us, guiding, protecting, planting good seeds within our lives. But His work bears fruit only when we respond. A heart that resists God becomes like wild grapes, full of potential yet unable to bear sweetness. God desires partnership. His care plus our obedience equals beautiful fruit. The parable of the vineyard workers, the laborers in the vineyard. Matthew 20-116. A wealthy landowner woke before sunrise and walked through the quiet streets of town. At the marketplace, he saw workers standing, idle men who longed to earn bread for their families. Come work in my vineyard, he said, promising them a fair wage. At noon, he returned and found more laborers waiting, still hopeful. You too come, he said, again in the late afternoon. Even at the 11th hour, when the sun was almost gone, he invited those still overlooked. Evening arrived. The workers gathered to receive their pay. To everyone's shock, the landowner paid the last-minute workers the same as those who had toiled all day. The early workers grumbled, Why are they equal to us? The landowner replied gently, Did I not give you what I promised? And can I not be generous to whom I choose? They fell silent. His mercy was bigger than their measure. This story reminds us that God's generosity does not follow human logic. Whether we come early or late in life, God welcomes us with the same love. His grace is not earned by hours of labor, but given freely to all who answer His call. The parable of wisdom, like a tree of life, Proverbs 3:18. A father sits with his son beneath the shade of a giant tree. As cool leaves flutter above them, the father speaks of something even stronger than wood and deeper than roots, wisdom. Wisdom, he explains, is like this tree. Find her, find life. Rest in branches, peace in shade, joy in fruit, rooted in storms. He plucks a leaf and lets it fall into his son's hands. Just as this tree grows slowly, day by day, wisdom grows in the heart of the one who listens, obeys, and walks with God. The son looks up at the tree, imagining the life it represents, steady, flourishing, faithful. Growing in God's wisdom doesn't happen overnight. It's slow, steady, beautiful. If we sit at His feet, listen to His words, and follow His ways, our lives become like a fruitful tree, offering shade, strength, and nourishment to others.
Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more videos. God bless you.